Scene 10. The Fallout. The city was quiet, but in the Cobalt War Room, silence had weight. Johnny stood at the board, staring at the name that had shaken the entire team, Darius Vaughn, a ghost, a man who wasn't supposed to exist anymore. And now, somehow, he was sitting at the center of Green's web. Benjamin leaned against the wall, fists clenched. If Vaughn's involved, this isn't politics anymore, this is war. Pilar smirked grimly. Good, I was getting bored. Lana slid a file across the table. I ran facial scans on every known image of Vaughn. Nothing recent, but if Green's tied to him, they're running something way bigger than hush money and offshore accounts. Johnny's voice was low, measured. Then we drag them both into the light. Pilar glanced at him. And if the light fights back? Johnny didn't blink. We fight harder. That night, Cobalt prepared to hit Green in a way he couldn't ignore. They had the warehouse files, proof of Alderpath's shell corporations, and the first threads tying Green to Vaughn. One anonymous leak and the walls would close in. But Johnny knew Green wouldn't take it quietly. Stay sharp, he said, loading a fresh mag into his Glock. Green won't come at us through courts or press. He'll come at us his way. Benjamin grinned. Let him try. The plan was simple. Meet a contact who could authenticate the Vaughn files and distribute them to key federal investigators. The location, a quiet parking structure on the edge of the financial district. The moment Johnny stepped out of the BMW, he felt it. The air was wrong, too still. Pilar's voice crackled over comms. Johnny, I've got no movement on cams. Feels like a blackout zone. Stay in the car, Johnny ordered. Benjamin scanned the shadows, jaw tight. This is bad. Then, like clockwork, headlights flared. 3 black SUVs blocked both exits. Doors flew open. Men in tactical gear poured out, silent, disciplined, and armed. Benjamin drew his gun. Finally. Cover left, Johnny snapped. The first shots rang out, echoing through the concrete levels. Johnny and Benjamin moved like they'd done it 100 times. Controlled bursts, clean strikes, every step calculated. 1 attacker down, 2, but they kept coming. Pilar's voice was sharp in Johnny's ear. I've got cops en route, but you've got maybe 4 minutes. Johnny ducked behind a pillar, reloading. Benjamin grinned, bloody-knuckled from dropping a man with the butt of his gun. You having fun yet? Johnny smirked. Not until they run out of bodies. And then, the gunfire stopped. The men pulled back, regrouping near the SUVs, and from the middle vehicle a figure stepped out, tall, imposing, perfectly tailored suit, and a scar running down the left side of his face. Benjamin froze. No way. Johnny's jaw clenched. Darius Vaughn, very much alive. He smiled like a man who already knew the ending. Johnny Donnelly, Vaughn said, his voice smooth but carrying. You should have stayed in your lane. Johnny raised his gun. You should have stayed dead. Vaughn chuckled. I'm going to enjoy this. With a snap of his fingers, the SUV's doors opened again. This time, heavier weapons came out. Benjamin grinned ferally. Guess we're skipping the talking part. They didn't win. Not tonight. Johnny knew it even as they fought through the barrage. Even as Benjamin dropped another man with a bone-rattling hit, even as Pilar hacked the garage gate and screamed through comms, Go now! They barely made it into the BMW. Bullets sparked off the frame as Benjamin floored it, tires screeching, the SUVs too slow to follow. In the rearview mirror, Vaughn just stood there, calm, smiling, like this was only the beginning. The war room was silent. Johnny dropped the files onto the table. Benjamin sat down hard, knuckles still bleeding. Pilar tore off her headset, her face pale but burning with anger. Lana looked from one to the other. That was him? Johnny nodded. Darius Vaughn. Benjamin leaned forward, breathing hard. We just went to war with a ghost. Pilar's voice was quiet, dangerous. Then we make him wish he stayed dead. Johnny didn't speak. He walked to the board, grabbed a fresh marker and wrote in bold black letters, Vaughn. Underneath it, he drew one word, destroy. Hours later, as the city slept, Johnny returned home. He opened his condo door, set his gun on the counter, and paused. A single envelope sat on his dining table. No broken locks, no alarms triggered. Inside was a photo, Maya, asleep in her bed, and a note, written in Vaughn's precise handwriting. Family first, Johnny. Stay out of my way. Johnny's hand tightened around the paper until it crumpled. He didn't speak, didn't move. But his eyes, they burned like a man who just declared war.
This concludes another chapter in Michael Liverpool's series, Caught, adapted to audiobook. Don't forget to click subscribe and click the like and get in the comments. Stay tuned for more content.